Welcome to Channel Today in History. In today's video we will talk about the day, November 14, 2012. Operation Defensive Pillar. Operation Defensive Pillar, also known as Operation Cloud Column, was an attack operation on the Gaza Strip, carried out by the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, between 14 and November 21, 2012. The beginning of the fighting was marked by the targeted assassination of Ahmed Jabari, head of the Hamas military wing in Gaza. For Israel, the casus belli consists of the launching of more than 700 medium and long-range rockets into Israeli territory since the beginning of the year, and more than 120 in 2 consecutive days, by Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and the Committees of Popular Resistance of the Gaza Strip. These hostilities are part of the context of clashes between Israel and the Gaza Strip since the beginning of 2012. According to the Israeli government, 3 events justified the operation: the launch of at least 100 rockets into southern Israel in a 24-hour period, an attack by militiamen from Gaza against an Israeli military vehicle inside the country's borders, the explosion of a tunnel near where Israeli soldiers they were, within the borders of the Jewish state. The declared objectives of the operation were to stop the continuous and indiscriminate rocket attacks fired from the Gaza Strip against southern Israel, which resulted in the death of 3 Israeli civilians and several wounded, as well as the destruction of property, undermine the capacity of Palestinian militant organizations. Representatives of Hamas, the political party that governs the Gaza Strip, deny that they were the aggressor, and blamed Israel for the violence, claiming that the actions of Israeli forces had caused several deaths of civilians in Gaza in the first days of the operation. They also recalled that on November 5, a Palestinian boy suffering from mental health problems was murdered while crawling towards the fence separating Israel and the Gaza Strip. They also asserted their right to defend their citizens against Israel's blockade of the Gaza Strip and Israeli occupation of the West Bank and East Jerusalem. The Gaza Strip government's border circulation official, Ghazi Hamad, insisted that the aggression did not come from the Palestinians. "We keep saying that we are the victims of the occupation, and we are the target." He also said that Hamas has the right to defend its people, and would therefore respond to Israel's attacks. If Gaza is not safe, Israel's cities will not be safe either. Israeli forces reported hitting more than 1,500 military targets in the Gaza Strip, including rocket launching pads, tunnels used for smuggling, command centers, weapons manufacturing and storage sites. According to the Palestinians, civilian homes were hit. Gaza health officials reported that as of November 23, 167 Palestinians had been killed in the conflict. 8 Palestinians had been summarily executed by Hamas military wing, the Izz ad-Din al-Qassam brigades, for alleged collaboration with Israel. The Izz ad-Din al-Qassam brigades issued a statement declaring that the Israeli occupation has opened the gates of hell. Israel has declared war on Gaza and will have to take responsibility for the consequences, declared Palestinian Islamic Jihad. About 7 days after hostilities began, both sides reached a ceasefire on November 21. The Israel Defense Forces launched more than 1,500 air, land and sea attacks against Gaza Strip targets during the operation, targeting Palestinian missile launch pads, ammunition and weapons depots, militants, camps, government buildings and homes of guerrillas. According to groups operating in the region, more than 160 Palestinians and 6 Israelis died during the 7 days of conflict. During the operation, Palestinian Islamic Jihad and the so-called Izz ad-Din al-Qassam brigades intensified their attacks on Israeli territory. Militant groups reportedly fired at least 1,456 rockets towards the neighboring country in the regions of Rishon LeZion, Beersheba, Ashdod, Ashkelon and other population centers. Israel's political and financial capital, Tel Aviv, was also hit, for the first time since the 1991 Gulf War, and missile and mortar fire also hit the city of Jerusalem. According to information from the Israel Defense Forces, at least 409 Palestinian rockets were intercepted in the air, and another 142 did not reach the target, falling even earlier in Gaza. A bomb also exploded on a Tel Aviv bus, injuring more than 20 civilians. Hamas did not claim responsibility for the attack, but praised the attack. The United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union, and other Western powers supported Israel's right to self-defense, condemning the launching of Palestinian rockets against the neighboring country. Iran, Egypt, Turkey and some Arab countries condemned Israel's military operations, calling them barbaric and criminal. Brazil, speaking on behalf of Mercosur, condemned the violence perpetrated by both sides. While the Brazilian government condemned Palestinian rocket launches against Israel, they also called their response to the attacks disproportionate. On November 21, 2012, a ceasefire, mediated by Egypt, was officially declared by Hamas and Israel. Both sides declared themselves victorious in the fighting. According to estimates by the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, as of November 26, 224 Israelis and 1,269 Palestinians had been injured during the operation. According to Israeli pacifist Yuri Avnery, it was the much-criticized Goldstone report on the killings carried out during the 2008 to 2009 Gaza war that prevented Israel from invading the Gaza Strip by land, this time. During an interview with Robert Fisk, Avnery stated, "Goldstone can be proud of what he has done. He has really saved many lives." Did you like the video? In the description you will find the blog link with the full article. Give an incentive by subscribing to the channel, liking, commenting, and sharing with your friends. Hugs. Until the next.